What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. I've got a StarCraft 2 commentary for you today. This is going to be a best of 3 series between EG's Idra and Liquid HuK. So I am very much so looking forward to casting this series. Oh man, these are probably two of my favorite players, most certainly. At least probably two of the most well-known players as well. We can see right here in the 6 o'clock position here on Metalopolis, we do have EG's Idra as our blue Zerg player. And then right over here at the 9 o'clock, Liquid HuK as our red Protoss player. Looks like HuK will be starting off with a little bit of one base play, dropping that pylon at the front of his base and then heading out for doing a little bit of scouting. I am, again, absolutely thrilled. I cannot wait to see how this series commences. There's actually quite a few games, quite a few series that I have in the lineup that I'm pretty excited to cast. So we'll have to see how this one goes and how much time I have throughout the rest of the day. But if so, I'd like to get a couple more done. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We can see right now HuK moving straight into Idra's base, scouting him out. As a result, I do expect Idra to just start off that one base play, dropping that pool first inside of his main and then kind of working his way out from there. I don't expect him to go straight into expansion given the fact that he was scouted first. We can see right now HuK is dancing around all over the place, just doing a whole bunch of maneuvering around that mineral patch. And a little bit of harassment here and there as well. Just a little bit of damage, stealing a little mineral patch there. And then walking his way back on home. Now again, he can stay here until those first batch of Zerglings do pop. So there's really not much of a reason for him to leave at all. He may decide to just chill out and wait for secondary scouting in a couple minutes, but I kind of do expect him to just kind of dance around a little bit longer. We can see he actually pulled on in just to check that extractor. He wanted to see if that was up and get a rough idea of what the timing was, and that gives him a pretty clear indication as to when he can expect the metabolic boost to be finished, and that's basically the whole purpose behind that. That is the entire idea. Back over here, we can see Idra fully scouting out what HuK is doing. The gateway sitting at the front. What he's actually checking for now is that second assimilator, if it's up, and there we go. In spotting that, he will be heading on back. Again, the idea is, hey, I need to know how much gas he has at what stage in the game so I can get a good idea as to what he's planning on doing, or at least what he's capable of doing. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. Players really want to know, okay, what is my opponent capable of? Knowing how much Vespene gas they have access to is going to help him have a better idea as to, again, what to expect when. So we can see right now, Idra's first 4 Zerglings have popped out, and he will, of course, just be sticking with these 4 early on, unless for some reason HuK decides to push out with some early aggression. 4 is all I expect to see from Idra. Idra will be piecing out with that Overlord. Looks like he'll be heading back on over into this direction. We do have that Cybernetics core just about finished for Zealot, about to head its way on out, and we have these Zerglings actually grabbing those Zelnaga towers. The other Zerglings checking around for 2 things, Proxy Pylon, and to see if that scouting probe, or if there is a scouting probe at all, anywhere in the vicinity of Idra's main. Again, secondary scouting almost always taking place, and so Idra wants to see if he can get rid of that probe before he has that option. Now, I actually do not see where that probe went, and it's actually quite possible it was lost. No, it was not lost, so he didn't lose the probe. Looks like there it is. So HuK managed to get that probe back to his main. Unfortunately, I didn't catch his journey back home, but not really that big of a deal. Idra, however, unaware of that, will be checking just all over the place. He really wants to see, all right, is HuK still over here? That's what he's checking for. So back over here, we can see Idra's hatchery just about finished right now, just starting that metabolic boost as well. Get about 1/3 of the way finished at the moment. Now back over here for HuK, what does he have going on? Looks like Stargate opening. HuK will be opening 3-gate Stargate. So some Void Ray and Phoenix Harass early game going to be quite effective for HuK. We'll see how well he's able to utilize that. Do of course keep in mind on this map, we've got this close air distance that's going to help this early game air harass be incredibly effective. Something else that we could see HuK do is if dropping a proxy pylon at the low ground, just giving himself vision of the high ground with the Void Ray, that's going to allow him to warp in some units up on the high ground into the main of Idra. And that, of course, could be incredibly frustrating. Now, HuK does have this pylon down, and the placement of this is going to tell Idra, at least it's going to make Idra expect that HuK will be expanding. Typically, when you see an expansion, you'll see that pylon there, and then an additional building, at least one additional building, to try to formulate a wall between this and the expansion. So when seeing this, he's going to expect it, but oh, look at that, sneaking on up with those speedlings. Does he catch? Yes, he's going to catch the Void Ray. HuK is forced to engage, so right now Idra's fully aware of what's going on. Now the Zealot managing to protect that sentry, going to allow HuK to lay down those force fields. So even though HuK was forced to engage with that Void Ray because he wouldn't have really enough forces otherwise, You know, even though Idra knows this is coming, I'm not sure he's gonna have the greatest of time dealing with it. We can see we do have that Spore Crawler up. I almost expect there to be another Queen in production as well, given the fact again that Idra has spotted the Void Rays. Also, don't really expect Idra to expand, in which he might have otherwise if he had thought that HuK was actually coming out with this quick expansion. Actually, it does look like HuK will be doing that, so he is going 3-gate Stargate and then into expand, but at the same time pushing out with these Void Rays and that Phoenix there. So yes, HuK will be aggressive right now, moving out with these air units and seeing how much damage he can possibly do. We've got another Spore Crawler coming down. We do have these 2 Queens again. There's another Queen in production as expected. Phoenix going to be able to lift up that Queen and snipe it out of the sky, but no, the Phoenix gets taken out from the Queen at the low ground, plus that Spore Crawler. This Queen looks to be very low right now, not actually going to get killed though. We need to be very, very careful with these Void Rays. HuK try to pull back the ones that are low health. Both these Queens getting relatively low right now. We should see a transfuse too. Oh no, wasn't able to get a transfuse down. Didn't have enough energy to actually be able to do that. Now, this Void Ray will be heading on back right now. We've got a couple more units streaming across the map. HuK keeping up this aggression to coincide with the expansion that he's got coming up. At the same time, we'll be engaging that spawning pool a little bit, just trying to do a bit of damage and actually charge up that Void Ray as much as possible. Spore Crawler movement's going to force that Void Ray back, and here we go. Zealots plus Sentry push right now, taking out the one injured Queen. Moving forward to try to get another one. We've got Speedlings trying to wrap up on those sentries, trying to wedge themselves in between those force fields. Not able to really do so, though. Those sentries get dropped. The Zealots still going to town, though. Lots of damage being done here by HuK. We've got this Void right now sitting still with those 3 kills. We've got a Phoenix joining the crew as well. A couple of Zealots need to be careful. For that Spore Crawler, though, that Void Ray is a little bit susceptible to that, of course. We do have that Graviton Beam taking up the Queen, allowing that Void Ray to take it out, and oh no, Idra losing another Queen right now. And we do have Speedlings moving across the map. The whole point of this for Idra is to try to catch reinforcements before they're able to actually make it on over here, and that's exactly what he needs to do. So absolutely fantastic play on his half there. I want to take a look quickly at the unit loss tab. Looks like they are about equal. Idra's been having a tough time, though, especially now that HuK's getting his way up to an expansion. Now Idra needs to try to move out and do a little bit of damage to this, try to hurt the economy of HuK if at all possible. Going to be the main focus right now of this Speedling engagement. So there we go, Speedling trying to move down. Look at how sentry heavy HuK is. HuK with all of these sentries should have no problem with just laying down some force field walls, and with this small amount of Zerglings shouldn't really be an issue. Now back over here inside of Idra's main, we do have a Nidus network coming out. Idra going to be trying to work his way into some Nidus play. The Void Ray still dancing around. He was actually checking that expansion, just wanted to see if Idra had planned to actually do that. At the same time, going to be grabbing those El Naga towers and trying to kill off any Zerglings that may be there. Speedling still staged up outside of HuK's base, really not in position to engage at all, though. Way too many sentries, plus those Zealots, and actually they might actually be able to get a few free Speedling kills. There we go, walling them in a little bit. Few free kills. That's a lot of Speedling kills there. Very nice force field wall there by HuK, trapping a majority of those Speedlings in and taking them out. And then it looks like he will be moving out for an additional attack. We've got this Void Ray still alive, doing what he can. I believe I saw Phoenix. There it is. Phoenix moving across the map as well there for HuK. HuK again just checking this expansion. Wants to see if Idra actually moved into that. As we can see, has not. Get a lot of Hydras coming on through. Nidus Network, I'm not sure that's going to come into play yet, though, because of the fact that he doesn't have no vision of the main. And here we go. Big, strong push right now coming from HuK. Going to be lifting off that Queen, taking it out with the Void Ray, and then using all those Zealots and Sentries to do a lot of damage to this expansion. We're going to see, actually, HuK force fielding in all of those Hydras. Those Hydras not able to assist here. We've got a bunch of Hydras on the low ground, but it isn't going to be enough. Target firing down that Void Ray, taking it out, but the Sentries plus the Zealots will take it out. And constant force field walls preventing, oh my gosh, that is so frustrating, preventing Idra. He could use a nice network. If he put the nice network in his main, he could actually use that to get down to his expansion, but it looks like it's not happening right now. So Idra going to be losing the expansion again. He could Nidus up there. I'm sure he's afraid of that, just getting target fire down, though. We've got a few Stalkers joining the fray right now, and HuK taking out Idra's expansion and forcing the GG. HuK opened up this game with a quick Void Ray. An early game push from Idra proved to be a little bit scary, but with nice force field placement and having the Zealot at the front for the buffer, allowed that sentry to stay live long enough to continue to drop additional force fields. HuK then pushed out with 2 Void Rays and a Phoenix and was able to do a little bit of damage, killing off a couple of Queens and doing a bit of damage to those Overlords as well. HuK then pushed out with a small force of Sentries and Zealots and was able to finish off that weakened Queen and do a little more damage. However, he was eventually overwhelmed by the amount of Zerglings Idra was able to come out with, and then we did see Idra push out for a counterattack after that. Idra's counter aggression did not go as planned, however, as he was trapped by HuK's force fields and some very nice positioning with those zealots as well. HuK was able to take out a majority of those Zerglings and then move out for an additional attack. Being sentry heavy with his follow-up, HuK was able to trap the units coming from the main of Idra and keep them away and not able to defend his natural expansion. Now Idra did have this Nidus here, however keep in mind he was likely spending his resources instead of putting that into the main and trying to get out some more units, but unfortunately with the constant force fields from the sentries, lots of Hydras did not come into play there, and Idra did lose that expansion and called the GG. Alright guys, thank you for watching. That was game number 1 here in this best of 3 series between HuK and Idra. We'll be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. As always, if you guys like the content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.